So I want to make now a video about these people on the street who are maybe 13 years old, never was talk with me, never was read all my more than 10,000 scripture about Allah and God and Muhammad. I was wrote about Muhammad and Moses and Jesus, and they was never read it, never was talk with me. And when I go on the street, they talk shit. They are 13 years old and full of demons, use drug, and talking shit against God's prophet. And this message is also to every mental sick in Europa who not save a German diplomat, and the police have my act and they just hit a victim. Now I question them. I wrote in my books what they deleted, but what I wrote when they study theology and when they learn to read the Bible, they will know everything what I wrote in my own books with God's voice is written by the prophets. It's written by the prophets. They can Google what I wrote is written in the scripture. When I wrote in my books that I will see every flesh, and I open their skirt, and I will see every genitals, also they follows, is written in the description, and I will show that every priest on earth are not circumcised, and I will show the evil deeds, what they do for me every day for my own eyes, says God of Israel. It's written, it's a Bible citat. It's not mean that I am a prophet, that I watch, therefore the flesh, the unclean flesh, who are not circumcised or are circumcised. No, it's a Bible prophecy and it's a parable. I can see every flesh, but I can see every thinking also. And I will show that every priest are a sinner. The circumcision is the meaning, the symbol, that I do the law of God, of Moses, or I not do the law of Moses. And this prophecy is meaning that God will know exactly who do the law of Moses and who break it. And it's not meaning that I want to make a sexual life with this mental sick, null income generation. And when I was judged the Nazis, that the black people, Niger or Jews or Arabic people or another nation who are black-haired, also people and not goys and not animals. When I judge them, it's not meaning when God judged the Nazis that now God want to sleep with black people. God is God. When you talk with the prophet, you talk like God. You talk with God also. Because the prophet told God's word, the Spirit is on me, and I talk what God feel about this last generation. And so I fulfilled what I wrote. I wrote in my books in 2001. Now I'll tell you, Richard Dennard, what everything I fulfilled, what I was wrote with 19 years old, more than 24 years ago. I was wrote because God commanded me to wrote it. I was in Austria as a poor slave. Nobody was touch me. I was a poor slave in a hotel, in a prison, without water, without heating, in a cellar, in a pinza. Pinza is a cellar, maybe in English. It's not in a house, it's under the house. There is no heating, no water. They give me just a small room, no water, and always told to me, I'm a dirty Jew. The dirty Jews are animals. They not need water, they not need heating, animals not need these things, and I just must shut up and clean the hotel. I was just clean. I was worked so as a poor slave, as a dirty Jew, and no man was touch me. And then I was wrote a book, because there I was go in a temple, what is dedicated, this temple is dedicated in Austria, you can Google, it was not a fantasy what I wrote, it was happened. This temple is in Austria, nearby Innsbruck, Absam. And in this Absame church was in maybe for 300 years was sent an angel and Maria, and is dedicated to the archangel Michael, who killed the Satan and killed the snake. And I was because they always pain me. I have no water, I have no heating, I was freeze. I was going the temple, and I was praying to God, why they do this with me? Why they do this with me? And then I saw an angel with a sword. It was very white and yellow, shining, and he had a sword. And this angel was open at my eyes, as I wrote in my books. And I saw in that moment, I saw every continent, every enemies of God. I become knowledge. I hear more. I see everything. It was, I don't know how I can tell. I wrote it in my books. And then I begin wrote the books, what God hate, what God must see. And I judge all the evildoer. And therefore, because I judge all the evildoer with 19 years old, God also was told me, I must wrote it in my books, what are fulfilled now on the Gentiles and Goys. God was commanded me in 2001, wrote it. I saw the World Trade Center before they was fall and attack the World Trade Center. I wrote the books before and I saw it. And I was wrote it, when I will be talk about God. And when I wrote about God, these people who not know me and say against me an evil word, they are written in hell. And when I created a photo or a film, a movie, I created everything with God's Spirit. And everything that I make, a photo or a movie, have a spiritual, biblical, theological meaning behind it. I was wrote it. And the Gentiles and the Goys who not have knowledge and not belong to God, to Allah, we just watch my work, my videos or photos, with the Yazabel spirit and not understand and just think like in Sodom and Gomorrah, think on banana and like these things, because their mother is a mentastic Yazabel, and they have no knowledge and they just watch everything with the Yazabel spirit and not ask me what I create or what I make. And this is their sin. This is their sin. When they not study and not have knowledge, why they not ask me what I make and judge a people, in a sense, prophet, with their own mental sick Sodom mind, and they all written in hell. I wrote it in 2001 in my books, and it's fulfilled over this Sodom generation. Everything what I wrote and God told me, fulfilled over this Sodom generation. It's a very big shame. A very big shame, Richard Dennard. And they rule you also, because you not know me really, you not read my books. I wrote more than 10,000 books. I not have friends. No man was touch me. The last one, it was 2001. He want to marry me, and therefore I let him in, because he swear of the Bible he want to marry me. And it's not my fault, not my sin that he was always drunken, because Nazi police make him drunken, and he was swear falsely and was too weak. Therefore he go in hell. He himself was go in hell, who was swear falsely. Not I am. And it was also not my fault that the Nazis not give Daniel Achim Ezenwa a job, the black a friend, because they not was give him my black friend a job, and therefore he was emigrated out from Europa. He was going Italy. And it was also not my fault. He want to marry me. Therefore, I was with him. He believed in God. I want to marry me. This is not mean that I'm an ugly woman when I want to marry a man. But the Nazis destroyed this because they hate black one, and they are the unclean horse, and not horse, whore. For God, they are all written in hell. And it's a very big shame, this cabaret, I tell you the truth. Everything what I wrote, I fulfilled. I wrote also that a lot of satanistic people rule with genes. what the European people call demos, people against me with false thinking. But all these people on the street never was read one scripture about me or one book about me or the Bible and not talk to me. They not know me, that I suffer for God, and they judge by these demons and spirit what they sent on them. And therefore they are almost dead. They are almost dead. Because it's God's law, Allah's law. You can never judge a people just incurred when you let these innocent people talk and make a protocol with all the proof and what he say. And without this, without Kurt, you never can judge innocent people. Then you are Satan, is Moses' law. And also the Gentile law under Article 20, second abscess. Because the Gentile law was created about Moses' law. And I wrote about Moses' law. So I questioned this man as he goes on the street, who blasphemed God's prophet. This was their father and mother told them, when you see a woman who wrote about God, Allah and Moses and Muhammad, you must blaspheme this woman. This was teach your mother and your father. Then I told you now the truth, that your mother was a mental sick bee and your father was a mental sick Satan. Because what this generation do against God and a holy woman is Satan did. I was working in München as a nurse with diploma. I never touch no one, I just work. And then I wrote many books, and the Budapest Parliament with the Vatican deleted all my books and foolished my own father, they foolished my own father and telling lies about me because they was jealousy because I wrote about God, and they are Nazis, they not believe in God. Therefore they make my life shit with lies and crimes. And my father is also in Fidesz, in the party, in the parliament Fidesz party. And one day Orbán Viktor told my father, you children, you Teresa children, I work in München, but not as a nurse. She worked as another unclean, I not tell now what. And my father was believe it at first. And then he realized that they lie. But because my father was in Stalinism grow up, and in that time was a very, very evil time in that time, and he not have money to go to school, was always help the fathers, and he was very poor, not can read, and he not can read my books. And when I was go back to Hungary, I was told my father, why you was believe this evil shit lies from the government? Maybe you are in the party of Fidesz, but he lied to you, Orbán Viktor. I'm not an unclean whore. I was work and take care of all people and nurse. Nobody was touch me. I wrote just books against satanistic and Nazi regime. Not believe it. I wrote books about Allah. I wrote books about Allah, Muhammad, Moses, Jeremiah, all the prophets. And then when I was told him, he also judged the Nazi state, and then six policemen hit my own father with gummy stock, and my neighbor and I was watch it. And they fully shed full Europa with lies against a holy woman with diploma, who suffered for God. And a woman who suffered for God and wrote about Muhammad and Allah and Moses and every prophet, and never sold his body. I wrote against it. I wrote against it. Who sold a woman go in hell. I wrote it. When a man sold a woman and not married her, go in hell. I wrote it because it's Allah law. So it's a question why they think about jinns and demonistic, mentalistic, sodomite behavior, but it's not true, because they are puppets from satanistic people. Thank you.